Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day number 1 of the Wildcard event. This is going to be a 2-week event, and this is what we're going to start with. North America is the first region up to bat. We're going to see the first 4 teams try their chance at getting into the regional championship. But of course, my name is Drybear. I'm joined today by Mr. F. Dot.
Yes, you are. How's everybody out there doing today? I'm doing swell. Hey, how's your morning going so far?
It's going fantastically.
Yeah?
Fantastically.
You excited to watch our first matchup of the day?
I am. What is it?
We're going to take a look at 5 Angry Men, the team coming out of the Challengers Cup, and we're going to see what they can do against Thurst,
Thurst.
The bottom seed in the North American SPL.
Thurst has to step up today. I think really Thurst has to show everyone that they are contender, that they really have recovered from the SPL now. Of course, over a string of 20 matches, Thurst was able to win 1 of them. Now, they had the most wild roster changes throughout the entire season, so it's hard to call it Thurst, right? It's kind of like Thurst V1, Thurst V2,
exactly.
Thurst V3, Thurst V4, and they were moving around, but they definitely have a lot of talent on their team.
Yeah, I mean, they have a core of a decent amount of talent. Wolfie is a tenured jungler that's done his thing on a number of teams in the past, and in an attempt to overplay for his team, maybe look a little weaker than he actually is in reality. The mid laner, Jaco Malfoy, again, a talented player. Brandon seems to think he has one of the highest potentials of all the Smite players at the moment. And Elbro Chacho, an up-and-comer. The skills aren't there yet, but the mindset is. So that core of Thurst is a good starting point. They never really had a solo laner or a hunter. 7 different people, including Brochacho, the support, tried out in that hunter role.
And Fusion, the old solo laner. I mean, they've been moving around a lot, and it's hard to call anything a core, really. I mean, they have the 3 players, then it's just like this amorphous blob that comes above them trying to move the players in. But the whole idea, right, is that they're coming out of a 20-game season, 7 weeks in the Smite Pro League, and they have to try to coalesce that into a strong lineup to go into the regional championships. Now, their road ahead by no means is easy. They have an arduous path to the Smite World Championship. If they are able to get there, they have to go through 2 weeks of round robins against the 3 other teams in the wild card. We've got Rambozos in there. We've got 5 Angry Men, and they also have to worry about Fat Chunks Assemble, which did quite well in the SPL.
Yeah, Fat Chunks seem to have Thirst card. Both of these teams, as we said, are the bottom 2 in the SPL. So in comparison to the higher up teams, they don't really seem to shine. But when Thirst faced off against Fat Chunks, they won almost every single time, if I'm not mistaken, and just looked really good while doing so. So the jump between Thirst and Fat Chunks is rather large, and that's something that they're going to have to watch out for. 5 Angry Men has 2 ex-competitive players, Mace of the Face and the Best, so these players know the ins and outs of competitive play, and you take a look at Rambozos, and they're also a force to be reckoned with. A lot of different players there, but we're getting into the game right now, so 5 Angry Men are going to be banning first. Let's take a look.
We'll hop into the picks and bans here, guys. First pick and first ban will go into 5 Angry Men. They're going to get rid of Nemesis against Thirst. A bit of a shot against Wolfie. Now, Wolfie has a pretty big god pull for the jungle. He likes running Guan Yu. He's one of the few people that still likes running Hoon Bots, which is surprising. Freya banned out in response. Now, one thing you're looking at here, you're looking at Mace of the Face and the Best on the side of 5 Angry Men. The Best previously of Team Dintos, one of the top level, I mean, second place in a Pro League kickoff, was able to get second place in the launch tournament as well. Very well tenured player. And Mace of the Face previously of Denial, which was 5 Angry Men, kind of coalesced a little bit later after that. So a lot of talent on the board. I'm glad to see the Circuit ban.
I'm glad to see the Circuit ban. So 5 Angry Men, they're obviously targeting Wolfie. As we said before, Wolfie is sort of the leader of this team for better or for worse, and easily the number 1 talent you have to watch out for. Jaco as a mid laner sort of has to work around the rest of the team. So 5 Angry Men is going to ban 2 junglers and pick 1. Thirst is going to pick up Geb, which I like the pick. I would have liked to see a Vamana ban out of Thirst. That's what the Best is playing in the solo lane these days. With seeing the Nuwa ban, that tells me that there hasn't been a lot of research on the side of Thirst as for their opponent.
Well, Nuwa is still very powerful, right? Especially if you're looking to pick up Ra, that ultimate using the on-hit effect to put 8 seconds of reduced healing on the enemy team. Pretty easy and pretty straightforward. Plus, Nuwa is incredibly powerful. We've seen her rise in the stats over the last 3 or 4 weeks, becoming better and better as she gets played. Ra locked in here, and across we're going to see Apollo and Isis now. 80 carry loves to play as Apollo, and getting that locked in for him, like up against Thirst, a really great pickup for them. And, you know, honestly, this is more of they want to get Apollo before he's banned, because we know that Thirst doesn't really run. They run more mage hunters than they do physical hunters. You see a lot. See, there's a Kronos that's guaranteed to be the hunter at this point.
Well, yeah, Yes and no. Kronos is. We do have Osmos on the team of Thurst, and
Right.
he basically is Kronos.
He
Every
is.
once in a while,
Well, him and Fusion.
yeah, every once in a while, characters really embody players really embody the characters, and Kronos is Osmos for lack of anything else. We see a third jungle band come out, Thanatos, one of Wolfie's favorites. So it's very obvious that 5am is straight looking at Wolfie with their
Right.
picks band phase right here, whereas Thirst is a little more scattered. You've got a Habwa band for the best, a Nuwa band
the
for
Rom.
nobody in particular, and a Freya just because it's Freya. Rom's going to be picked up on Thirst, so that's going to confirm that Kronos is going into the solo lane.
Yep.
Nasty lineup on the side of 5am as they prospectively round out this band phase.
Across the way, we're going to see a couple things hovered on here. Odin and Giannis. Giannis most likely going to the solo lane there for the best. Odin will be locked in here for the support role. Now, we haven't really seen Odin do too well, but you look across the way, really no one can get out of that Spears. Now, I say that with a pause, that verbal pause there, because of course Kronos can rewind out of it if he was out of it when he actually started the rewind timer. We can actually see, Rom buy a lot of time inside the Spears, goes up there for 5 seconds, prevents him from taking damage. Tyr, if he's selected here, would be able to get out of the Spears with that judgment, but at the same time, right, the damage that you're able to pull out here is not going to be as powerful from Thirst. I don't know if Tyr's the right selection. They need someone who's a little bit more aggressive in the lineup, right? Since Tyr doesn't have that knock-up on his blue stance Fearless, he only has that one single CC, which of course if you pick up something like a Magic's Blessing, it stops Tyr a lot, whereas Bots, I love the choice.
Yeah, see, the thought process behind Tyr these days is he's gone through an identity change. Now he's a solo laner. Blink Tyr used to be standard in the jungle. Tyr doesn't initiate anymore because of exactly the points you just brought up. Blink Cataclysm out of Geb can set up some interesting things, but I prefer the Hunbat's choice. I'm happy it's there. It gives this team a lot more team fight. Osmos and Rom have secondary team fight potential where they stand outside with their stuns, etc. Jacob Malfoy and Brochacho on those two characters will support, but they don't have a pure make everything go haywire, and that's what Hunbats is going to do. I love the pickup for them. 5 men though, I want to talk a little bit about the Odin before we go in. Perfect choice. No one can get out except for the Hunbats, which was last pick. It's going to counter the healing from Jacob Malfoy. It's going to counter the healing from Osmos. I absolutely love it, and I expect it to do very well despite a lack of success in the past.
Now, I'm halfway there with you. I'm halfway there. I can see the combination of Odin trapping in literally only
Everyone.
4 out of 5, right? Because Moonbots can jump out. Kronos can, if he does work it out properly, he can get that rewind to get through it. But you look at the lineup here now. Isis Odin colloquially has been a very successful combination. You put the circle protection down. Now we've seen the Isis Odin run before in the SPL. It was not successful for the sole reason that Odin will blink in or jump in, Isis has to run up, and when she's placing it from outside the ring, she won't get full coverage, and so there's going to be a spot where the enemy team can stand away from the circle of protection and actually protect themselves. They do have a combination where they can Thor dunk inside of the Odin Spear, they can have Apollo dunk inside the Odin Spear, and of course Giannis will be able to do a lot with it, but I'm curious to see how they're going to be able to handle it as they go into late game. Looking for the early start here, going to find that ball on Wubba. There's no Sobek grab this time around, they're just going to get some harassment, and it's so early in the game, they can actually head home now.
Yeah, both teams are going to take a look, and they'll heal up with that Ra. I mean, as you said, it's early in the game. We've got about 10 seconds before the match even starts ticking up. So you could opt to go back. Doesn't look like Thurst is going to do that. Wubba's going to be all right to have just a little bit less health than normal. The pings are coming out for both sides. It looks like Thurst really wants to go after. They're going to go after the left camp, so no big deal right there. And just standard starts coming out from both of our teams. It's 5 Angry Men and Thurst take the field.
Well, they're looking like they want to head over here a little bit. There's going to be 3 of them kind of jumping in here. There's going to be a ward near the mid-camp. There goes the ball. It's a 3-man clear on the mid-camp, which means they're most likely going to be skipping the damage until maybe about a minute and a half, 2 minutes in. Left side gets hogged by Brochacha. They secure the mid-camp, so both mid-camps went to a respective team. Seems like it's pretty even so far. We'll see how they recover on the side of 5 Angry Men. Now, the blue buff is going to start up a little bit late here, and they will get to the lane about the same amount of time, which means no loss, no foul here for 5 Angry Men. Thirst is going to be lining up here, but it does mean that they got 2 buffs on the side of Thirst, 1 buff on the side of 5 Angry Men. It's kind of like SPL start we've seen for the last month or so. And they're going to do, we're going to see Homie if he actually run over to mid lane, push the lane up, then they're going to work with Isis, mace to the face, clear the damage buff, do the back camp, and then go back to mid.
I like the choice here coming out from Thirst to bypass the blue buff specifically and go right to the lane, push the lane up, and then pick up their blue buff. So they're going to secure it right about now at the 1 minute mark It allows Wubba to really use the mana from the blue buff a little more efficiently as this lane goes on. Bugsy uses both of his defensive abilities, and Brochacho's going to miss that knockup. So
I don't like that choice from Thurst. That was an opportunity right there.
It definitely was.
The minions were there, but of course with no jump available here, just did the bird bombs. The lunge was not on off cooldown. They could have poked him a bit and pushed him back, and they did have protection from Brochacho, although the damage buff was stolen away. So 5-Finger Men backing off means that now they got the damage buff. They stole it away. That's less jungle for Wolfie to get.
Wolfie's going to come into the mid lane on the safe side. Homie Effie and his friend Mace of the Face are here. Good jump, but a better Spirit Ball through the wall. Draco Malfoy going to take a bunch of damage, and Homie Effie spinning right here. Wolfie's going to show up and allow, just this presence alone is going to send them off into the distance. So not too much right there, but it will send Draco Malfoy into the jungle. So just enough to provide some distance for the
Well, it's also that Divine Light. I mean, when that stacks up 3 or 4 times, it feels like you're walking through molasses. And you're like, just come back here, chicken. And you just can't seem to do it, especially as a melee character. So, I mean, yeah, the presence coming out from Wolfie, it was smart, right? Because he wanted to go left side jungle, and he's like, my bud's in trouble. I'm going to come back here and show presence, which a lot of people don't understand. Showing presence as a jungler is powerful in and of itself. Even if you do nothing, the fact that you are there and apparent to the enemy team can change the whole dynamic.
It's the threat of the possible abilities,
That's
Driver.
right.
He didn't have to jump in. He didn't have to use the mana, especially Hunbat's using a lot of mana.
Right.
It's important that he did it, and Wolfie tends to be a little over-aggressive. So I like this slight playstyle change, and it shows that the team is really looking intently at these wildcard matches.
Back Harpies picked up by Wolfie here. Mid lane will be defended. Draco Malfoy is going to head over. But losing that damage buff is pretty hard here, F-Dot. And Thurst really has to try to recover from this. Now, of course, it's going to be a slight 200 gold lead for 5 Angry Men, but it also means there's no damage buff in the mid lane. Forcing out Wolfie is going to be Homie Effie. There's a nice hammer. It doesn't look like he's actually... Yeah, he's actually maxing Berserker Barrage on Thor, doing very little damage.
Maxing the Berserker Barrage is a choice that you do based on the comp. And looking over towards the side of Thurst, there really isn't anybody that can interrupt that, with the exception of the ultimates coming out from Wolfie and Brochacho. So you're free to max that Berserker Barrage, which in the right situation can be advantageous. It's all playstyle and enemy comp, and without a lot of silences or stuns, he's free to do so.
The portal! Oh, he stole both of them with the portal! The best takes the mid-camps. Jump on the ball is going to be Wolfie. Thor not going to come out here. There goes Ice Circle Protection. Out of range it goes. There goes Ultimate Response. Homie in a lot of trouble here. The Bird Bomb's going to find the kill. Trapping in Draco Malfoy. The portal's on the ground, and this one will be secured. Inside of the ultimate he goes, but double kill for Bugsy. The minions are shooting arrows, and Osmos gets the kill. And Rewind's trying to catch up some ground and maybe get close to a kill. His rotation comes out from the left lane.
I love the choice to rewind right there. It's going to shorten the distance between him and the enemy. Mace to the face, not going to get stunned through the wall. Good choice, and not enough shots. Not enough shots from Wubba going to be on point right there. I think he just hit 1 out of the 3. So Mace to the face will be able to live another day. Head back to base. 4.5 minutes in, 5 Angry Men leading this game 2-1.
You know, what's interesting about that, right, is that you kind of have to assess what's on the table.
Yep.
It's not always, okay, let's defend this team fight, right? Because if I'm Thirst right now, I'm thinking they just expended all their resources fighting the right lane. Why don't I just call Osmos over and we take the Gold Fury? I mean, it's easy. It's open. There's no one there. The support was out of the fight. Bugsy is already dead, and there was no chance of them rotating over. There's no cooldowns they could use, and they all had to go home. So instead of kind of like rushing to try and kill Mace to the face, you know, that was an opportunity for them to just go straight to the Gold Fury, take that down, and put the gold lead up in their favor. Right now, Fine Man is 500 gold in the lead, but very, very small at this point in the game. 5 minutes in. We're going to see 5 more minutes until the Fire Giant climbs out of his hole, but the jungle camps are being cleared up, and it looks like Thirst is actually being a little more efficient with their jungle camp clearing.
Yeah, Thurst is really having attention to the timers right now. They're making sure that they're there when they spawn, whether or not it's on the map or not, which is a good look for them. About 1 minute before the next mid-camp spawn, or 1.5 minutes because of the delay for the team fight. So we're not going to be able to see that mid-lane skirmish just yet. So a lot of return to normalcy, Drybear. Just a lot of farming up these jungle buffs, and not a lot of aggression coming up from 5 Angry Men. Looks like left lane wants to get in position, but they're not ready to quite jump in this time around. So Bugsy is just rotating around, and he's going to find himself making his way into the mid lane.
Man, they're being so aggressive on this jungle, F-Dot. They really want this damage buff. Apollo ult coming out. I guess they were expecting a defense coming out from Thurst. Maybe the call came out from left lane. Welba and Brochacho were like, hey, Apollo's ulting, don't go into this bait. They back off. They defend the mid tower. It's not worth losing the damage off, especially given the fact that they sacrificed a lot of lane farm to get it, and they also shared it between all of them. So it wasn't really, it's just a buff they lost at that point in time. Wolfie out of mana here. No jump, no teleport, but Bugs is not going to do enough damage to take it down. This is the point where Odin starts to fall off for damage.
Yeah, as we approach the mid game, I think he's got a couple more minutes left, but as we approach the mid game, we're going to see him fall off. You know, that red buff is upsetting because, as you mentioned before, and I followed up, that it looked like Thurst was a little more attentive to their buffs as we see Brochacho get caught out. He's going to take some poke. He is the tank, not quite tanky just yet, but there's the ultimate from Isis.
Oh, wow.
There's the dunk down from Thor. One more shot will secure it, and Mace to the face gets it with the basic. Brochacho falls to the wayside.
Gold Fury.
5 angry men going to make their way to the Gold Fury, 6.5 minutes in, already looking for those objectives.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see that rotation there. And, you know, when it had first chance, oh, look for the ultimate. Wolf to find it. Can they actually get a kill off this? Needs a good Jaco ultimate to secure this kill. Rom up in there looking for damage, just spreading out, teleporting through the wall is going to be enough. Jaco looking for the shot, looking for the slow, going to find it. No shot just yet. He actually has no ultimate to his name. Looking for the kill, nothing being chased down here. The slow will land on 3. There's a Gungnir's Smite damage, overhand smash, going to find it. The best will go down. Bugsy's pretty low as well. Looking for the follow-up. Can't find Jacob Malfoy in the tower taking shots. Osmos going deep. Rewind to the tower he goes. And they will be able to get 2 kills in the back end of the gold theory. Now, looking at the gold charts, was it worth it?
If you take a look at the gold charts, right now 5 angry men are up by 18-20. They did have a higher one as homie if he picks up Osmos just a little too far. You know, if Osmos didn't die right there, Drybear, I would have liked that play a lot better. Strictly because they calculated, they dove, but they dove with a lot of calculation. They let Kronos go deepest with that rewind available. They stole the speed buff, which is of utmost importance, not just to the jungler, but to the experience of the team as a whole. It was a great decision. The Gold Fury happened, and you got to look at how to stop the bleeding right there. Good choices from Thurst. Unfortunately, the execution from the entire team didn't work out. That said, the lead is a lot less than it would have been if they let them get the Gold Fury for free.
Well, the hard part about it, right, is you have to make the choice. Do I want to try to get kills out of this, or do I want to use the open opportunity to try and take an objective? Now, the mid tower was available, but there's no guarantee whether they were able to secure it or not. Thor dunk left side, Brochacho in a lot of trouble again. Cataclysm will slow it down here as he goes in a roll. Good wall, good bird bomb. Ultimate coming out, not going to land. Brochacho is dead to rights here. A perfect orchestrated gank from 5 angry men. And at that point, Thurst was not prepared to react to that. And Brochacho is getting to the point where he is now, you know, if you get enough kills on the Guardian, they become killable all game long.
Oh, yeah. And at this point in time, he's got Watcher's Gift and Midas. You're not quite at that tank level yet. You have to rely on the Guardian base stats, and they're there, but they're just not enough. 16 stacks on that Dumor from Osmos, though. He has 1 death. I'm not at the point where I dislike it. I just am very careful with my liking of Doom Orb in general. It's just too dangerous.
No one really wants to like Doom Orb. Sometimes you just have to look at Doom Orb and have it be part of your life. But here's something you enjoy about it. Here's something enjoyable coming out from Thurst. Look for the ultimate. Gonna find it. Damage coming out. Gonna find no one. Jaco missing that shot. Big heal from Circle Protection will keep them alive. Bugsy has an ultimate but does not want to use it in this current situation. Now, Welba's having some troubled times over here at FDI. Welba's going to be sitting at 4,300 gold, and you're going to see 80 carried at 5,200. So it's a 900 gold deficit between the two hunters. Granted, there is a 300 Gold Fury boost coming in there. So if you look at it, it's about 600 gold between the two of them. No towers have fallen just yet, but that's a tough separation to swing, especially as a ROM.
Yeah, it's a tough separation. He'll be able to deal with it if he just stays neutral and not really look for anything outlandish in that lane. Worth noting, we mentioned that Geb has been killed twice. That said, he's ahead in experience over his enemy support, despite the fact being almost 1,000 gold down, so that's going to cause a big separation right there. So that's okay, though, for a support. You're going to look for setup. You're not looking to be the one with the big numbers. You're just there to shred CC off of people with your shield and get a great Cataclysm.
I just look at Odin as like Beyonce. That's all he is to me.
I completely agree.
That is it. You're just like, hey man, I really have this need to put a ring on it. And Odin's like, hey, I can do that. And that's all he did.
Yeah, I like that Fire Giant. Put a ring on it. Nobody else can get it, especially against this comp. It's completely up to Wolfie, and if Wolfie goes, what's going to be imperative as we see the ultimate come out right here. Up in the air goes Thor. Going to re-engage, I'll bet. Looking for something is also the Apollo. Not quite
Nice
sure who they're
ult.
going to target, and they're just going to play it safe.
A lot of missed ultimates, sending him out. There goes Wolfie. Each time it gets popped from base to base, he doesn't have an ultimate to use here. No control. There goes the heal. Gonna pop up. Bugsy traps him inside. Looking for Wolfie. Wolfie has no jump. There's a Spirit Ball. The damage from Homie will take him down. Brochacho trying to get away. Puts the shield on someone else. The selfless Brochacho may be killing himself here. There's the Bird Bomb taking him down. Big damage from Giannis. Looking for Jekyll Malfoy. Can't hit it. Wubba is gonna fall to the Spirit Ball. No, it misses. No, he actually gets back to the tower. But the Gold Fury will be up in just about 40 seconds. Can they actually do something with this?
Gold Fury will be up in 40 seconds. Brochacho will be up in 10 seconds, which means there's going to be a 25-second stretch where Brochacho can actually make it. I don't think they're going to get it for free if they even decide to go for it. They're just going to go for towers, which I think is the better choice. Go for the thing that is there. The bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. So
True.
That's a good choice coming out from 5 Angry Men. And Osmos quietly takes down the solo lane tower. That's the power of Kronos. Kronos is a tower killer for a number of reasons, double dipping into those magical power for taking out that tower, and there it is. So that's going to be the first tower of the game for Thurst, mirroring the one from 5 Angry Men. Love the choices. It's coming out good for Osmos.
I like that Jekyll Malfoy telegram saying, "Hey, I've got a ward there." And he's like, "Oh, making note of that." We may see a Sentry word coming out here, and actually none purchased coming out from 5 Angry Men. Not really too worried about it. There's one on top of the Gold Fury already. The Gold Fury has respawned at this current point in time. The first Gold Fury of the game went to 5 Angry Men, and Thurst is now up to bat and hoping to take the next one as they desperately need it. The gold right now is 3,200 in favor of 5 Angry Men. They will be able to clear half of that if they were able to secure a Gold Fury, but it's looking pretty grim here as Bugsy jumps and looks for the initiation. Now, for most of these fights, Thurst has not been together. They've been kind of defensively ulting, looking for the cataclysm. Gonna find Bugsy. There goes the slow. If they kill him right before the Gold Fury, this is big. Needs a jump. Needs to get out. Can't get it. The jump's not off cooldown yet. There goes the kill. Osmos takes down Bugsy. Rewind back to the Gold Fury. They may look to take it.
Yeah, this is a great fight for Thurst. You can see it from before. They just spread out and isolated 5 Angry Men. They take down the support in Odin. Jacob Malfoy getting aggressed on right now, but as we mentioned before, Molnar's attunement not being leveled, so that long-range poke not going to be able to come out from Thor, but it does come out from Giannis as Jacob gets another big hit right there. So enough defense coming out from 5 Angry Men to prevent Thurst from feeling comfortable to hard engage, despite it only being 3 characters. They're going to start the Gold Fury. 3 members here, 1 member zoning. Thor in the air, going to dunk, but that's a good call. They waste the ultimate, they retreat, and they're going to get what they get.
Not done yet.
Osmos is getting focused right now. He does have ultimate available, but doesn't quite need it. They're going to try and turn around. Good ultimate coming out from the Monkey. AD carry being focused right now. Despite the ultimate, he goes down to the hand of Wolfie. Homie, if he takes away the enemy jungler's life, the best going to fall to this portal. Not quite. Gets away with just 1 HP, and Bugsy stuck in between, but Mace to the face takes out Osmos. That's going to be a large amount of damage as he picks up his 2nd kill on the Ra. Bugsy looking at Brochacho. Now it's all against Wubba. Needs to take down Mace to the face before he falls, but Homie Effie takes the kill, and that's going to be a deicide going the way of the blue team. 5 Angry Men get their 2nd Gold Fury of the match.
That's hard. Real hard for Thurst. And at this point, when they're looking at it, they're wondering what went wrong there. And there's a couple things that went through it. And obviously, it comes down to hesitance. And
yes.
You're at this level, you can't have hesitance. You look at the goal, you're like, I want it, I don't want it. I want it, but they're there, they're going to initiate. Maybe we'll get it. No, well, we should back off. Well, we should definitely get it. And when you teeter-totter like that, it's really difficult to make anything happen.
Right.
And they waited so long to the point where Homie is up in the air and he's thinking, I may as well initiate. Shuts down Osmos, locks him in, gets the damage on top, forces him away. They try to return back to the fight, but at that point it was too late. Big damage coming out from the best, rotating over. The big thing of the best right now is he has no actives. He is committing 100% to his build. Rush that Warlock Sash, going into Voidstone pretty shortly here. A lot of damage and penetration to his name, and at this point, Thurst really needed to look for the secure Gold Fury, or look for the team fight, or look for nothing, but not all 3 at once.
Exactly. I really like the decision to fight the Gold Fury, bait out the Thor, and then leave. The problem was they left in 3 separate lanes. Osmos walked all by himself. You got to have a buddy when there's a Thor in the air right there.
You do.
You got to have a buddy. You land on the Kronos, you annihilate the Kronos, and just took him completely out of the fight. They didn't kill him, but he wasn't able to be where Kronos needs to be to fight, and that allowed 5 Angry Men to just isolate individual players, take out the big threats, and then get the deicide and eventually the objectives. 15 minutes into this match, blue team is leading by 5,800 gold, so 5 Angry Men substantially ahead. 12-5.
I like what 5 Angry Men's doing right now. This is something we don't really see too much from the mid-level teams as they look to go up to the professional level all the way up to the top. Is that when you have a lead, more often than not, we see this especially from Thurst, where they don't look to do anything with the lead.
Exactly.
They look to farm more. But right now, 5 Angry Men, they're in Thirst's face. They're saying, "Hey, we have the lead, we have the gold, we have the map. Deal with it," and they're forcing them to defend towers. They're forcing them to defend jungle buffs. Even, at the point where Thirst is questioning whether they can take a damage buff safely, 5 Angry Men is being successful because they are now forcing the mindset to shift, and they're going to start pushing towards a late game. Osmos in trouble. Gets done now. Big burst, and there he goes. Osmos not paying attention, not enough wards, and the aggressive rotations from 5 Angry Men is going to keep them in the lead.
Yeah, these rotations from 5 Angry Men, it's just pressure all the time. They're really not letting Thirst catch their breath. And because of that, not only do you mess around with the rotation of the map, but it's also a mindset. You feel safe nowhere. You have no backyard as Bugsy's taking the tower shots. Just not feeling it. He's level 12 on this Odin. All he has is a level 2 steel mail. That's going to be built into his sovereignty, and he's already tanky enough that that's not much of a threat to him. Despite the fact that Jacob Malfoy is 2 levels higher than him, he knows that his team's going to back him up, and he can take a couple of tower shots, and Thirst is afraid to engage. That's exactly what we're talking about.
5 Angry Men taking down the mid tower. The Gold Fury won't be up for another 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Left tower is now under pressure, and Thirst doesn't look like they're even able to defend this one. Nice wall, good zoning from Homie. If you keep him off the tower, tower goes down for free. The map is now more open. Now, 500 gold is not really that big of a gain for 5 Angry Men right now, but it's really about the map control. They're going to open this up wide where there's no defense on the left side. It's pushed back, maybe a fifth or a sixth of the length of the map just by taking that tower out. Now they're going to go back over the mid lane. I like the fact they're constantly rotating, constantly looking for a gain.
As a team is the asterisk I'm going to put on that. I love it. They're sticking together. They're using their group numbers as a plus, and that's really what's doing it for them right now. We see them split into 3 and 2 right now. This is the mistake that Thirst made before, but the 6,500 gold differential between these two teams allows 5 Angry Men to feel a little bit more confident in the dangerous routes they take. They're going to fall back, and it's 17 minutes in, Dry Bear, but they'll probably look for these mid camps.
Well, the mid camps are coming up. Now, they're worth about 90 gold each. It's not really a huge gain, but it's something that has to be there, right? Thirst is they're on the streets begging for bread, and at this point, they have to take everything that comes their way. Mid camps are not. The Fire Giant is standing up here. A lot of ward coverage coming out from 5 Angry Men. You can see 2 wards on the top side of the Fire Giant area, and at this point, 5 Angry Men is looking to go home, heal up, buy their items. Speaking of items, we've got a Shifter Shield active here for Homie, a big item for Thor. The Book of Thoth has just been completed here for Mace to the Face, a little bit behind, but he did rush both his Greater Aegis and Greater Purification just to make sure he never ever gets caught. It's shown historically in this match, Thirst is wanting to kill Isis as much as they possibly can, and by buying those items early, he prevents that slow gain from Thirst by picking him off.
And that's 100% the correct target for Thirst to be looking at, despite the fact that they're not working. Mace to the Face is the one that's ruined a lot of these ganks, coming out from the first one in the middle lane. With that Circle ultimate coming out from the Monkey, with that Fear No Evil, you drop the damage reduction coming out from Isis. That's going to prevent a lot of the burst, because that's what you want to do while the enemy team is feared. So if you take out Mace to the Face, you take out their main defense mechanism. Thirst just isn't able to do that, and that's why they're trailing by 8 kills.
Look what 5AM's doing right now. They're going to leave AD Carry on the left side of the map, and what they're hoping to do is see Thirst try to contest a Fire Giant and have AD Carry just solo the Gold Fury. And this is just a dual-edged sword here. You're going to see if they rotate over to try to take out AD Carry, they take the Fire Giant. If they don't, AD Carry get the Gold Fury. Either way, it's a loss for Thirst, and 5 Angry Men using their 6,000 gold lead right now to its best advantage and controlling the map in intelligent ways. 5 Angry Men is showing a lot of promise in this matchup against Thirst. Now, Thirst, of course, is a Smite Pro League team, and this was a Challengers Cup team, and Challenger would be a perfect name for 5 Angry Men with the way they're looking.
Yeah, the Challenger Cup this year was very interesting. The two North American teams, the one we're watching, 5 Angry Men right now, and Rambozos, are both tenured Smite players that have been in and out of the competitive scene, specifically 5AM with the best previously of Dignitas fame, and Mace to the Face previously of Denial, played next to Jeff Hindla, who now plays on COG. So a lot of talent and, more importantly, experience on these teams. So you can't really look at this and say Thirst is SPL and 5 Angry Men isn't. You got to look at the players individually and say, these players have been on the big stage. Both the best and Mace to the Face performed at the launch event on that huge LAN. They're sieging down the right lane, and they're showing their experience off right now. A lot of damage onto Brochacho. Here comes the defensive ultimate from Wolfie. Good control, but not enough damage. Wasted the Ice Assault. That's going to be a good one for Red Team, but can they capitalize? 5 Angry Men disengaged, now re-engage, looking for something more. Berserker Barrage comes out for the second time, only hitting one this time. Wolfie looking for something, but not able to get close enough without being dangerous. His team is playing it very coy, just looking for the defense, not the offense. I like it. They have a Phoenix to defend. That's exactly what they do. Thurst lose the tower, but they protect the Phoenix. Down 8,000 gold. That's the best you can ask for.
The best is here. He didn't ask for anything. Gold Fury is going to be taken here by AD Carry. There's no one in the area as they do rotate over a little bit with Wubba. Wubba on his way and actually moved back over to the mid lane. And the fact that they have this split push going on at all times, not necessarily for a tower or Phoenix, but really just for objectives and spreading themselves out and just taking advantage of the fact that Thirst can't be everywhere, whereas, you know, 5 Angry Men kind of can. They've got AD Carry on the left side of the map who can fly, which is a very special talent for very specific gods, and it really does help him control the map. The Gold Fury is going to be taken down. The Fire Giant is standing up here. Thirst may look to take it, but again, they're wasting time. If they want it, they got to go for it, but looks like they don't want it enough.
This has been the motif of the entire game. Thirst just not trigger happy. They're afraid to pull it, and right there,
they could have it dead by now.
That was a Fire Giant. You had 3 members on the left side of the map, one of which was the AD Carry, one of which was Isis. They had no vision. They didn't know that. And that's a problem for the team, but they still should have taken the gamble, Dry Bear. That was a free Fire Giant for all intents and purposes. Maybe Odin would have been able to contest, but that was the move that they needed to make to get back into this game.
It's just hesitance, and it's just, you know, it's kind of being skittish at this point. I mean, they're thinking, okay, we can do Fire Giant, and you saw them set up for it. They warded, they looked for the control. They're like, hey, this is definitely something we can do, and then they're just like, are they there? I'm not sure. Let's leave. You know, it should be, I know where they are. This is a Fire Giant. Let's take it. It's just a lack of confidence from Thirst where they just didn't have any map control. They don't have any vision. Now, granted, that is a product of the fact that 5 Angry Men is very much in the lead right now and they can't safely ward. But something we've seen from the top level teams that if you're behind and you can't safely ward, the best thing you could do is ward in an unconventional spot so it doesn't get counter warded. If you don't have map control, you can't counter ward. Put the wards in weird spots so you have some vision, which is better than none. We actually saw Wubba backpedal into a double hit in the Giannis Unstable Vortex. Very unfortunate. Kind of very special talent that only Rom can do. He's probably one of the few characters that can roll fast enough to get double hit by an Unstable Vortex.
Back in the day, Roz Beam, Celestial Beam used to do that as well.
The
Thankfully it doesn't. That would have been problematic for Rom as well. Middle lane tower being aggressed on by 5 Angry Men. That's going to go down uncontested. Tier 2s are a little more expensive than Tier 1s, so not the 500 gold this time around. We're looking at 1,500, and now we're looking at the initiation. Great Blink Cataclysm coming out from Brochacho, but a slow follow-up from the rest of his team. Rom goes in the air, looking for more damage, and Bugsy gets the root, and there's AD carried with the kill onto Osmos, who was really dangerous. Ultimate comes out from Wolfie, trying to take down Mace to the face, but he's all alone. It's one man surrounded by 3, gets the kill on a Mace, but will he make it out? Good wall coming out, and Homie Effie takes down Hun Bats. Wolfie goes down for the count. That's going to be a big kill. That's a 1-for-1 trade. That's a 2-for-1 trade going the way of 5 Angry Men, and Homie Effie going to get out, and that's just another win for 5 AM.
Wubba through the wall there with the Astral Strike, just kind of poking down on Homie if he's going to head on home. And that was a really scattered and honestly very poor engagement from 5 Angry Men. Thurst just was not in the lead enough or even close enough. When you look at the goal numbers, when you're 12.6k behind, it's hard to capitalize on a bad engagement for 5 Angry Men. We saw Mace to Face by himself caught on the backside. Bugsy really trapped inside the spears. And, you know, honestly, what 5 Angry Men should have done there, if they were to make that a little more even and really save Mace to the Face, is that use the Bugsy ult to trap them inside and turn back around and collapse on the 2 that aren't in the spear, making sure that they have a good engagement, and then re-aggress 5v3 rather than trying to spread everyone out. And we saw Mace getting caught there and then ended up getting body blocked by his own teammates and falling down to Wolfie, but it really just came down to the overall weight and gravity of the situation where 5 Angry Men is so far ahead that they can willingly make mistakes in their engagement. They have enough damage to recover from it, and now they're going to go for a Fire Giant.
Yeah, it was just the execution, Driver. I actually really liked the call right there to engage. There was just no follow-up immediately, and that's kind of what you need when you're behind. You need the power of surprise. You need to look for that sort of situation, and Brochacho made the right play. Unfortunately, communication breakdown. Thirst wasn't there immediately, which is what they wanted. teams jockeying for position over this Fire Giant. 5 Angry Men taking the offensive. Down goes the ring out from Odin. Good damage coming out with the Wing Gust, but a great defensive ultimate coming out from the Monkey. Jacob Malfoy is going to pick up his enemy mid laner. 80 carried very low. He gets killed with the jump by Wolfie. That's 2 kills for the team in red for the first time all game. They are leading a team fight. Rob's in the air looking for more, going to miss all the shots, but the best, homie Effie, and the rest of the team are going to retreat. 3 members alive, but 5 alive for Thurst. They could aggress, and they want to. Going on to Bugsy, the bird bomb is over the wall, so no jump is available for a couple of seconds. Thurst is going to try to get this Fire Giant. This one will be interesting.
They got a portal available here. There's Instant Vortex hitting Wolfie. Now, this is going to be a 3 versus 5 engagement. They don't really have a hole left on either team. The cooldowns won't be there. There goes the portal. They're going to secure the Fire Giant. Thirst will get it. Now Bugsy's in the fight. Looks like he will be falling down. It's going to be a 1-for-1 in trade. Support for support. The slow and homie if it comes out there. There goes another slow looking for the fall. Going to find the hammer. Going to get away. There goes the threshold as well. Got the distance. Got the control. Now, Fire Giant came down here for Thirst, but the real question is, what really happened to 5 Angry Men? That engagement, again, very scattered, very uncontrolled. We saw Wolfie kind of get in there, get a great ultimate to spread them apart, but Homie Effie was late to the fight. He didn't have the ultimate dunk in time to spread them out, and it seemed like they're just spending a lot of time trying to kill Brochacho on Geb, and it really doesn't result in anything. Geb will survive 80% of his HP and then not die, and then they have no cooldowns left to take down the squishy targets. Now, Wubba is pretty behind here. 0-1-5, 9,500 gold. He is going to be by far the most underfarmed character in the game, even behind his support Brochacho with 0-5. 4 more deaths, but way less gold on Wubba. So if they're going to come back in this match, they've got to get more gold on Wubba, but he doesn't have map control. He can't defend anything. The Gold Fairy will be leashed here by 80 carried, but it looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and try to go on the Gold Fairy. The right tower was absolutely shredded. We talked a little bit about how Kronos is so fantastic at killing towers. There's a lot of math involved with the way magical basic attacks take on magical power and contribution from his passive, and for that he just shreds that. Add a Fire Giant buff, which allows him to kill even more objectives even faster, and that tower died in about 3 seconds. Interesting that they relinquished this Gold Fury, and it looks like it's just going to go the way of 5 Angry Men. Brochacho's here. Hog will be taking a look. Hog will be up. And 5 Angry Men takes the Gold Fury. Really no contest right there with the portal coming out. Fantastic play with 5 Angry Men. And now Wolfie's looking for the kills. Gets the good ultimate, but not enough. He's got to retreat. Jump back after his shield, but now he wants to re-engage. This is a little dangerous going the way of Thirst. They need to find a way to do this carefully and correctly. Osmos with a perfect ultimate, but this is not the fight they want.
Osmos disengaging here. He's Shroud ultimate not available. Cannot rewind out of this one. He's going to shut down. Now looking for the kill. Homie if is unstoppable, but can Thirst find a way to stop that strain? 80 carried in the back. Good Serenade. Going to try and backpedal away from this one. Up in the air goes Rom. Look for the shot. Not going to find it. Backing away. Serenade buys protection. Still alive. Your last shot from Jacob will take him down. Now we're going to find Homie if forcing Brochacho out of the fight. But again, a lot of focus on Brochacho. I'm not sure why they're spending so much time trying to kill the Guardian. Go for Wubba. Go for Jacob. They're going to go for Wubba. Force him out of the fight. Jacob's backing up here. Homie Iffy still dropping low. There goes the kill on Jacob. Malfoy still looking for Brochacho. Gonna find that kill. Wubba backing away. There's another roll. There goes the portal. One unstable vortex should take this down, and indeed it will. Deicide coming out from 5 Angry Men. They actually have a chance to take down the Titan here if they're fast enough.
And they could definitely look at the Titan. We'll see if they opt to do so or they just opt to grab 2 Phoenixes. It's up to them. Mid Phoenix is almost undoubtedly going to go down unless something extremely drastic happens. They're going to aggress right onto it. Just tank it. No minions needed. Bugsy just going to do it himself. Osmos is here to play some defense. Gets stunned out. Not in the ring, so that's intentional. They ring out so they can focus on the Phoenix. Not enough to take down the Firebird. So good. Just
they don't have their physical. I mean, Apollo's not there, Thor's not there. They don't really have a single target to take him down. They don't even have a Chronos in that situation. So you're looking at a very slow burn. So given the fact that Apollo ended up dying there, which again was rather needless, 5 Angry Men could have actually shored up their front line and really re-engaged in a proper way. 80 carry will survive in that map there. But at this point, we're seeing a pretty open map for both teams actually. Thirst looking to get something done, but with 4 towers still standing on 5 Angry Men's sides, that's going to be difficult for Thirst to kind of really get any kind of map control because they have that guaranteed threshold where they really can stand back and defend.
Right. I liked that ring on the Phoenix. Because it's a Chronos, maybe go for the kill. But that ring is exactly what we were talking about before, Dry Bear. It's that higher level. It's a zone out. 9 times out of 10 use that ring to get a player stuck and kill them. We talked about how Thurst doesn't really have any escapes out of it. This time, they zone somebody out. They ring the Firebird in their team so that nobody can really mess with them while they're trying to aggress on it. I love it. Didn't work out, but that was the thought process. It wasn't a missed ring. It was actually exactly where he wanted to put it.
Right, it's done here for Osmos. He's got a lot of damage coming from the back end, turning more into artillery at this point. If he gets close enough to swing that mighty staff of time, he can actually take down targets pretty quickly here, especially with the penetration from his Shoes of the Magi and Demonic Grip, stacking up pretty quickly here. You look at the damage for Wolfie as well. He's got a Deathbringer, which will work with his passive Infused Strikes. After using an ability, his next auto attack will have increased critical strike chance, and so he has a lot to really offer here in the burst and also in the auto attack chain. Now, it's tough to make the choice. A lot of times you'll see Hoonbots either go crit build or go a pen build. Pen build means I'm looking for the team fight. I want to set this up, I want to use my abilities for main source of damage, and I want to allow my team to clean up. Crit build, my team fight prowess is going to be dropped here, but I now have the chance to auto attack, and take targets down. If you go for Rage Deathbringer on a Hoonbots, your team fight is weakened, but you now have the chance to just say, I'm going to kill that guy.
Well, the important thing about Deathbringer here is that Hoonbats' passive gives him 30% critical chance every time he uses an ability, and then uses the basic attack thereafter. So, with characters with baked-in passives like that, you look for that Deathbringer first, just in case. If you do get that crit thanks to your passive, it'll hit extra hard. And after that, you're going to be looking for the CDR. So you get the Jotuns first, the Magi to prevent you from really getting wrecked, essentially. And the Deathbringer comes online and really max that passive.
For the Fire Giant rush, through the portals they go. There goes the rush. Now, Thurst is going to try to get here in time, but they have a lot of single target damage. There's the Isis ultimate, the Fire Giant killer. AD carry landing down from above. There goes the crits coming out from the single target. They're almost going to get it there. Thurst trying to get there in time. They can't get it. 5-figure men. Quick call.
This is something that they planned. We saw, and again, another Blink Cataclysm without his team anywhere near him. Communication just not there for Elbow Tracho today. Good ring coming out in the back line. Got to go up in the air is Wubba. Looking for someone to hit. Nobody really low at all. Landing back down. A good target is him, but Brochacho, again, being the focus. Jacob Malfoy is going to die at the end of that portal. The best with a kill. Wubba takes down his enemy Hunter. So good one-for-one trade coming out from the Hunters right there. Looking towards Wubba is Bugsy, but on the other side is Wolfie getting aggressed on by Homie Effie. Goes for the aggressive play. Not enough damage coming out from the Hun Bats that time around. Jumps right into his own death. Poor choice from Wolfie.
Brochacho in trouble. He will be falling down here. No rollout available. Is silenced. Looking for actually, roll's going to come off cooldown pretty shortly here. There goes the shield. Looking for some rotation, but it looks like he's too caught. There's the Spirit Ball. There's the ultimate just to Kamehameha. The death through the Rock Band. Now the Fire Giant dead. The Mid Phoenix is exposed here, and really the only person that's down on 5-finger men, which is a bit of a downside, is AD carried. That's their single target objective and structure destroyer. Now they do have Homie Effie. He's going to be able to hit this pretty hard with his heavy hammer, and we'll see what he can do. This Phoenix will fall. Now as far as the timing goes, they have a very slim chance to take this Titan down if they want to go for it. The timing will come out pretty quickly here. There goes the kill of Osmos, and with Osmos going down, it looks like they're going to go for it. 13 seconds on Wolfie, 2 on Jacob Malfoy. This is a guaranteed kill shot unless Jacob Malfoy can work a miracle.
Yeah, this one will go down in just a matter of seconds. 33 minutes into the game, 26 kills to 11. 5-finger men are going to aggress on the Titan and take it down. They're going to be the winners of your wildcard opener. 5-finger men take the game over Thurst.
Wow, that's a rough shot coming through there. And that's the point we're going to see that, you know, Rambozo's Fat Chunks really ready to go here. And you're looking at the lineup for 5-finger men, and is it going to be enough, right? So the next match is going to be Fat Chunks versus Rambozos, and that's going to be the lineup that we want to see here. But looking at the stats on screen, you're going to find out whether or not 5-finger men is really ready for the next stage, the regional championships. You're going to see 23,000 damage from Homie Effie. 9-0 and 17 did not actually fall a single time that match. AD carry had a struggled time there, but still was able to drop 17,000 damage for a single target character. That's pretty powerful. Mesa facing the best, lining up there for about 20.5, 20.8 between the two of them. Across the way, 16.8k from Osmos, got a lot of single target damage, but you know, a lot of the problem here is that there's squishy targets on Thurst, and there's a Giannis played by the best on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, the best making that transition into solo lane from the mid lane uses these mages, and he has the potential to be very good. You take a look at this play coming out from the best, you could see that he used to be fantastic at this. He's looking for the right target right here. He throws out his ability just in the middle of the entire play, play, do a lot of damage. But look, he's going to find Jaco. He's low. He's going to look for the portal to try and find him, finding the perfect spot. And it's that patience, Drybear, that really makes it. Gets the kill with the portal, and then this is really the key. He's chasing a little bit, he's retreating, and then they're going to use the ultimate after the end of the fight to really go for it. So they're going to try and fight. There it is. There's the portal to get the transition, and now he's just throwing out this damage. He understands how slippery Giannis can be, and that's why he's all over this fight completely. He's on the other side of the fire giant. Now he's on this side looking for different characters. This one will fall right here, bro. Chacho's going to fall to the wayside using that threshold just to catch up. But this is what we're waiting for. That's what we're waiting for. That's the big hit. That's the big hit. That's the big transition and the big transportation, which is really what we want to see coming out from the best, because Giannis is as much power as he is utility, and that's what we saw there.
So 5 Angry Men looking very sharp here now. It's not done for Thurst. We have a full round-robin rotation over 2 weeks for Thurst. They have another few shots to really make it into the regional championship, see what their score is overall. But 5 Angry Men making that first blow known to the world and saying that, hey, man, we're ready for regional championship. But we got 2 more teams that have their opportunity to step up to the plate and see if they can hit as hard as what we've seen so far. Rambozos and Fat Chunks assembled. Again, another Challenger Cup team up against an SPL team. Fat Chunks Assemble has been showing a lot of life in the last few weeks of the Smite Pro League, and Rambozo's looking very sharp as well. That will be coming up next after this brief break. We'll see you then.